It's easy to be lazy if you don't have any emotional connection to what you're involved in. I give the example that I have personally is when I lived in France, I had spent years learning French in the university, but it never really sunk in because I wasn't paying deep attention to it. It didn't mean so much to me. But there I was in Paris, I had to struggle, I had to survive, I had to get a job, I had to get a girlfriend. And suddenly, because I had to do it, because it was important to me, because it was necessary, because it was what I call death ground. Either learn French or get the hell out, you're not going to be able to survive. I learned I wasn't lazy. So your laziness is something that has to do with you. You're not connected to something deep enough. You don't feel the necessity. You don't feel the devil at your heels. You don't feel the fact that you could very well die tomorrow that will impel you to get something done. There's no necessity behind it. And the human animal, the way we were created, is when we feel pressure, we feel the necessity to get things done. We can move mountains, and we have plenty of examples of that in history. But when that pressure, almost like a barometric pressure, releases, and we don't feel the need to get something done, we can become incredibly lazy because there's no necessity. So you have to create necessity in your life. You have to create the need to get things done. You have to give yourself deadlines. You have to remind yourself that tomorrow everything could go kaput. COVID could come back. You could be fired. You could die. You could have an illness. Give yourselves a sense of urgency that I need to get things done quickly. And then when it comes to making decisions, a lot of time what afflicts people is this idea of, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to start my own business. I'm not ready to quit this job. I'm not ready to break up with my relationship, which is toxic or whatever. Give me another few months. I've got to prepare myself. I want you to get this idea that you are ready, that you have to try and do things before you think you are ready, right? If you think, well, I'm not prepared to start this business. I need to go back to business school. I need to learn more and more. Shut up and do it. Just jump in the water. You will learn more by starting before you think you are ready. By making that decision, your brain will kick into action. You will discover all this energy that you had that you didn't think you had. So make the decision before you think you're ready is the other thing. The final thing I would say is laziness is not all that bad. I must confess that I have moments of laziness. If I was always intense, if I was always on trying to write my books, I would probably be dead by now. And actually, I almost did die because of that. And I've learned over the years to always kind of incorporate moments and hours so where I waste the hell out of time. I'm looking on sports websites, etc. I'm surfing for this or that. I'm reading things that aren't really important. It's important sometimes to take downtime and let your brain unload and not be so focused and on. So it depends on if laziness is a chronic habit or whether you build a little bit of laziness in your day-to-day affairs and give yourself some leisure time, some time to relax. So that's how I would answer that particular question.
Right. Do you think if you choose hard today, you usually get easy tomorrow?
I mean, there's obviously a ton of nuance to this, but in many contexts, yes. So for example, I was thinking of my father. My father would never he would avoid conflict at all costs. He would avoid the difficult conversation. And when I zoom out over the decades of his life and marriage, I go, man, that cost you big time.
You caught up with him?
Oh my God. And me inverting that in my own life and continually just confronting it head on has had the complete opposite effect. You know, like when you were talking about being a young man and making that decision because you had that voice in your head saying, law might not be my thing, and you made that phone call to your father.
Yeah.
Like what I hear you did is like you realigned yourself to you. Now, if you hadn't made that call and you'd let a couple more of those bad habits, you would have got to 40 and been like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
What is this life? You would have looked around and said, who is she? Who are they?
Right.
What is this job?
Right.
And that's that course correction that I think it requires you to do the slightly harder thing today. What do you think?
I agree with you. That's the resistance that you're choosing, look, I still got to learn how to take a vacation. Because, there's sometimes when the wind's at our back and we've earned it.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes when it's easy street and it's like, yeah, don't interrupt this, man. This is a sweet ass song. Trust that the hill's coming. Again, don't be so impressed with this, and what I have to do is so fall into when things are going really well, I go, there it is. That's the mean. No, it's not. Not with any ambition, it's not. Or not with life happening, it's not. But my hunch, I want to see what you think about this theory, is rather you shoot for an A and make a C, it's rather better than shooting for a C and making an F. Now, so go for perfection. Reality always comes in under it. But in that moment, when you see the inevitable reality, the outcome, the result, how quickly can we go, okay, but I got so much more out of it, the job, the person, myself, because I went for perfection, than if I'd have just gone for, nah, dude, just pass class. It's again that little bit owner's renter's mentality. Mm-hmm. But what can be hard for me sometimes is it can take me too long to come down from when, it didn't hit perfection. Mm-hmm. And maybe it takes me a week to go, dude, now do you finally realize that, of course you weren't going to get perfection, but you got so much more out of it because you went for perfection.
Yeah.
So be pleased with reality, because you got a good grade on it, man. That was good. That piece of art wouldn't have been that true if you wouldn't have been. I always say this all the time, and I never mean this in a disrespectful way. I've never done a movie or a performance that lived up to what I thought it could be. Because I'm thinking it can be divine.